Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have returned. Thank you so very much for taking the time to listen to this live broadcast with Liam Douglas here live on Facebook. I am the content creator and director for a YouTube channel that goes by the name of Liam Xmail. We come humbly together today to talk about that which is the attempted end of our civilization. We, the people of this great nation, and all the nations that have come before us at this great moment, stand now in opposition to the destruction of we the people by that which is the New World Order elite. They have fabricated diseases, they have fabricated autism, mental disorders, they have stopped caring and supporting mental health in the United States. They have taught our law enforcement personnel to shoot first and ask questions next. And that are all things that have been trained and taught to us by the Ashkenazi Zionist movement that has taken over the Abrahamic Jewish nation of Israel. They were given their national statehood in 1945. My great-grandfather, Chet Holyfield, began his work in 1943. 2 years after he became a congressman, to this nation earned their statehood. And I deem it now at this point that they do no longer deserve to have it. Yes, the great Abrahamic Jews of the world deserve to have a home. But those who perpetuate war crimes against undefenseless nations have no right or no position to exist in this world any longer. We are stronger than they have ever anticipated, and for this reason, they hope to engineer a mass casualty event here in America. They are orchestrating every necessary element to engage the American people in a global catastrophe of unprecedented proportions. You, the American people, are equipped with the necessary tools to stand up against your ruling class figureheads. You have the strength and unity of person. All you must do is claim it. You must stand up and claim it. There is no greater opportunity in this life, and there never will be another one presented as there is now, for us to take this moment to cherish it and share with our children the knowledge that they need to possess in order to survive past this would-be engineered nuclear holocaust. They want this. They want it desperately. We were shanghaied into voting for a Trump administration because we either had a Trump or a Hillary Clinton for president. But I am warning you now that these individuals are not in truth the people who run and operate this country into the ground as it is being ever so carefully engineered to be ran into. You would have to look at figures like the Rothschild family. You would have to look at figures like the Soros family. You have to look at every single hedge fund family that exists to strip away that which is the wealth of America. They have great organization already well invested in doing this. They wanted the World Trade Center tower buildings to collapse deep within the Hudson River. They wanted all of lower Manhattan to be flooded out. They wanted millions upon millions dead. They told everyone of importance that you are to stay home. Special text messages were sent out to individuals, giving them information that this event was about to take place. Those figures who were not in the upper echelon already with pre-informed knowledge of these events that were about to take place. For generations now, Zionist Jews have ran the political theater that is America. They have used a false arm race to get the people of all nations to pour all of their wealth into the squandering and into creating a debt that was engineered, fabricated, so that we, the people, could not buy ourselves out of this fabricated debt slavery that we find ourselves in now. 45 million Americans use EBT cards. Are you one of them? If you add a D to the letter EBT, you now figure out how you become a debt slave under the power of a government that spends trillions of dollars annually on destroying innocent, defenseless life. All from the leadership skills presented to us by figures such as Soros and Kissinger. These war criminals have no place belonging in our nation. You, the people, have the strength to evict them at this point. Unfortunately, George Soros thought it'd be a great investment to get one of his descendants to marry into the Clinton family. But the Clinton Foundation is losing money every day. Just like it has come out that the packaging that they use on our fast food for places like McDonald's contains cancer-causing elements and fluoride so that we cannot think clearly, the air is bombarded with chemical drugs so that they no longer have to provide state-funded health care. They can simply prescribe us medications at their will and pump them out to be distributed to the masses without any sort of discretion or concern for any type of side effects or harm that would come after it. And if that isn't enough, you have to look up at the Gwen Towers. You have to realize that they have already figured out incredibly efficient means to remote control members especially of the African American populaces of the United States, I give you my word of this. They know how to get deep into the mind of these African Americans and plant thoughts, ideas, whole realities in real time so that these individuals can become Manchurian candidates for a mass casualty uprising. If you do not think that these things are true, then you have failed at recognizing the behaviors of this federal government and the actions that they have participated in for generation after generation. When Israel took direct attack against a United States Navy vessel, the soldiers and the Navy officers who were aboard that ship were ordered to sign a non-disclosure agreement that they would never tell the American people what happened to them that day. And that is not the end of it. That is just the beginning. They think that they can come into this country and use it like a playground. They can take of our children. They can take of our resources. They can take of all the valuable assets that we the people possess. Thomas Jefferson told us that the most valuable assets that we the people possess are our natural resources, yet they are being squandered in an unprecedented manner. We are fortunate to perhaps have somebody like Donald Trump in the White House at this moment who is gangster-ass enough to just possibly stand up to these cabal figures. But you have to understand the exact nature of what we're standing up against. These people are so far technologically advanced over us that they actually have the access to the computer that rules this world. You guys think that it's you have no idea the very fabric and the nature of what goes into building our existence. People in space technology, people in deep government think programs know exactly what this world is comprised of. There is something very important between the harmony of crystals, tree rings, and this planet itself. Records. Everything that has rings. All these things possess a great deal of information. They do not care one bit whether or not the entire human populace gets wiped out overnight. They have no concern whatsoever. They don't care if the vast majority of the human race gets wiped out overnight because they have the means to protect themselves and sustain their future generations. As we have been told, and as we were shown in the Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, that their numbers match those of the stars in the sky. And so they have engineered at their discretion a race of humanity. And we have not become the efficient slave class that they had hoped that we would be. So they are again bringing up the idea of a refresh, a vast refresh. There's a reason why we as humanity have access to this computer terminology and how it can be intermixed with real life experiences. These individuals have thousands of years of technology in advance to what we possess. The civilizations that existed before in Egypt, all that information, all the technology has either been hidden, destroyed, or suppressed. And the type of achievements that they've met on this planet already has already resulted in this planet having not one, but two nuclear global events. Now we fabricate them in places like Chernobyl and Fukushima. Why? Because this poisoned the most intelligent and the strongest nations that exist in the world. Why is North America such a strong nation? Because it is a breeding ground for warriors. This ground, this land, from the tip of North America to the tip of South America, has a spirit of the warrior upon it. And similarly, as Russia and Germany has the same thing. These people, another separate intelligence on this planet, have become very capable of perceiving things that the people in the commonplace reality do not. They do not see that the Ashkenazi Zionist Jew machine is nothing other than a non-terrestrial entity with thousands of years advanced technology coming here to undermine that which is our human consciousness, get in every spot they can to, work their little greedy hands into every corner of existence that they can find, and manipulate it, not limited to religion, spirituality, music, art. It doesn't matter. If there's money to be made in it, if there's manipulation that can be achieved through it, they're there. And what do they hope to achieve? They hope to dumb us down so bad, because though they have no concern of killing off 500 million people or 7 billion, it'd be a whole hell of a lot easier if they could just continue to use us as a slave class system, as cattle, to harvest their wealth from this planet. This is not their planet. They are visitors here. We revoke their passport, their visa. They are no longer allowed to be present on this planet, our home, this place that which is ours. We the people demand that they go back to their corner of the globe where they came from and never come forth again. And if they do not listen, then I can only beg my Lord and Savior Christ, that the wrath that comes forth now in this near and immediate future towards him, the people who are underneath their rule, get out now, run away from them, and get away from them, including the American people who are under the thumb of the Israeli Zionist Jew. Get away from them, get out from underneath them, and quit paying your taxes, because at this point it is bloodshed upon bloodshed. Your hands are covered in blood, and if you want to step away before you finance the destruction of you and your family, right now is the time to do so. You see what's going on in Iran. You see what's going on in the Middle East. If you think that this is just by chance, you think that the last time we invaded the Middle East to the scale in which we did when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, this isn't an exact rehashing of it. Everything is scripted, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what anybody says. Everything that's theater in America is completely rehearsed and scripted to fabricate particular outcomes in the mental zeitgeist of humanity. We are better than this. America has lost its course, has lost its way, and now you, the people, have to decide whether or not you're going to step up and redirect it back on the course that it's supposed to be on, because they will kill us en masse. They are doing the best job they can to sedate every single last one of us to the best of their ability. And if you think I'm lying, then you have not been paying attention. You did not see the 4 dancing Israelis when those World Trade Center towers were brought down. You do not realize that. What about the possibility that they destroyed the epicenter, the hub for world commerce when they attacked that Trade Center tower? There is so many variables to be acknowledged when it comes to the full totality of what is happening. I promise you this like nothing else. With what is getting ready to be unleashed from Antarctica, my great-grandfather, a very incredible prominent member of Congress, allowed me to inherit a wealth of information that we, the people, very much are being able to re-express to one another at this point. This is that time. If you do not think that we're in a situation that is absolutely fabricated, then I cannot blame you or anyone else when your number gets called and you don't know what to do. But if you want to know what needs to be done, you start taking action now to train your family for spiritual warfare to be able to defend themselves. Because in this day and age, there are so many sellouts. There are so many sellouts and all across the entire board, as far as activist movements or truth movements go, sell out, Ashkenazi Zionist Jew, Ashkenazi Zionist Jew, Ashkenazi Zionist Jew sympathizer. I'm tired of it. It's nonsense. Kenneth O'Keefe, Lou Kradowski, I don't care. Ron Johnson. You know what? If you guys knew what these individuals were doing to you and your family, you would be in such outrage, but unfortunately you can't be upset because you've been chemically sedated to the point where you can't even think clearly anymore. You don't even have a problem with what's going on. You don't care that they're showing somebody fisting another man on YouTube, like in high definition detail, because that's the retrograde mind that they want to try to blame America for at this point. Somebody in the comment section of that video said if Sharia law was rule in America, this wouldn't happen. Do you guys realize that in the future, Sharia law is the rule of this planet if we're not careful? Because we either have Talmudic law, Sharia law, or universal law. And then it's no longer a possibility. It's no longer a considerable variable. This is the reality that you are going to be faced with as an individual, and all these people who you are contributing your time and your effort and your money to, who you think are going to make change, they're already talking about running off to parts of Malaysia, parts of Micronesia, like Microchina, places in the middle of nowhere where they can hide away from the destruction and sudden damnation that's about to befall this planet, this country, this nation of the United States of America. These people who you think are out there fighting for truth and trying to stop this and redirect the course that America is on, they're just using you now. They're using you, and you're letting them use you. So me and the other people who are truly fighting for truth, Danny F. Quest, Ziola Moon, I can name quite a few others, John Drux, these people are truth and absolute real honesty warriors. They're going to go down with this ship. They're going to lose everything in the hopes that we could do this together, that we can turn around this course that this sinking battleship is being sent on. I know we can do this. This ride is unlimited if we choose to correct the course that these tracks have been laid upon. But if we just sit humbly back, idly by, and do nothing about it, then who can we blame? Because we eat the animals just like these sick psychopathic Zionist freaks eat our children. And if you don't believe me, I don't need you to. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what's going on because my family has 50 years of political background that have paid exact attention to what's going on. And it's sanctioned because there are people who particularly happen to have certain appetites. And they're not cannibals, as Rabbi Avi Finkelstein, a very rich and famous Ashkenazi Zionist Jew, who says we can nuke Christ out of the sky when he tries to descend from that cloud. We say we're not cannibals, so of course we just take the bodies to the meat packing processing plants that we own, and we grind up the children, and we turn them into hamburgers and sausage patties, because that's what we've taught the American people to like for breakfast and lunch. Sausage patties for breakfast and hamburgers for lunch. You guys have no idea. Handkerchief codes abound everywhere. The reality of this is completely outrageous. I am sick and tired of people thinking that there is something wrong with what was attempted to be done when they tried to stop the evil of the Zionist terrorist. I am tired of sympathizers being afraid of how their channel is going to be censored or how they're going to, lose subscribers. Or you know what? It's enough of that. My child and my family's well-being and safety and future are under direct threat now, just like yours are. If you're an American and you're hearing this, do you know the rest of the world feels like they're going to have to fight your fight again? Because you're going to create a bunch of chaos in the Middle East, and then they're going to draft the Europeans first because they're closer? Oh, no, not this time, ladies and gentlemen. Not this time. This time it's going to be you and yours and your daughters. And they wanted this in 2015. Any American that wasn't willing to fight against Iran, Iraq, and every other superpower of the Middle East, they wanted them, and they wanted them in a FEMA camp if they were going to resist this war machine. And guess what? Why? Why? So they can cull the population back again and control us further and further and stop the permanent existence of us people with these prominent frontal lobes, okay? You go ahead and look at a book of famous thinkers. You go ahead and look at the Basis Conference, or no, the Something in the Desert that's getting ready to take place. And you look at the prominence of the frontal lobe section of each and every one of these individuals, whether they be man or woman or child. It just so happens that the frontal lobe is what is responsible for free, new thinking. And that is sure as hell what we need right now in this day and age, is some real new critical thinking to get us out of this nightmare that we are finding ourselves in. Ladies and gentlemen, I made a determination today that I am no longer going to, in any capacity, present myself before you without the absolute sobriety and clarity of mind that I need in order to teach you people exactly what it is you need to be seeing. Every moment that passes, an opportunity for you to understand the truth of the nature of the situation we're dealing with. Okay? I love my Abrahamic brothers and sisters. I love them. I love the descendants of a great number of the tribes of Israel. But there are a few who do nothing but work the iniquity of these serpentine beast creatures. And I am sick and tired of playing patty cake with them. I am sick and tired of playing American House with them. They tried once to annihilate and that make the Zionists of this world disappear. When it comes again this next time, there won't be any effort. There won't be any trying. Okay? There will be no trying. And that's why Israel has been smart enough to create the Samson option, whereas if anybody in their neighborhood decides that they're going to target and launch a nuke at them, well, then they're just going to target every nation that possesses nuclear arsenals and simultaneously launch at all of them, except for supposedly a couple of their allies, which is America. We can get in a nuclear holocaust over these 6 psychopaths who don't even care about us because they use our bodies like avatars, and so if they annihilate every last one of us, they just go back home anyways, like they do in that game Red Dust on PlayStation 3. Okay? That's it. They don't care about our bodies. They don't care about our planet. They have their own planet. They are remote controlling by wireless access millions upon millions of human beings on this planet. And they are over bombarding them with mercury because it makes the brain a more conductive unit, and so they can better operate and control these individuals. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, well, that's probably because you didn't spend 20 years of your life studying the shadow military-industrial complex. That's probably because you didn't have a grandfather who spent 45 years of his life building the shadow military-industrial complex. I mean, this book is old now, okay? And it still stands the test of time to say that the facility that they last named after my great-grandfather, Chet Holyfield, here he is, as I'd love to show him, with Lyndon B. Johnson, John F. Kennedy, and Lyndon B. Johnson, with my great-grandfather in the middle. And these men had, these are all victims of a great American political coup. But that doesn't even begin to address the fact that the very highest form of technology that existed during his life, which was the Holyfield Heavy Ion Research Facility, which was in Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Tennessee, honored the California congressman for his years of dedicated service in the nuclear power field. Okay, this is just pre-particle collider technology. And why? Why was this incredibly fair-faced fellow immediately, given promotion from a lowly congressional chair to the Department of Atomic Energy, the chair position for the Department of Atomic Weapon Systems? Why? Because of what he had up here, and what all the other pure politicians saw him capable of achieving with what he had up there. So he climbed the ladder of politics faster than almost anyone else. And at the beginning of this fine book, it says no other politician will ever be allowed to exist who had the capability, the influence, and the ability to direct action like Chet Holyfield did while he was in Congress. Unless you guys here now decide that what we're doing is actually worthwhile, and we're going to take ourselves to the limit of this falsely fabricated and scripted event that's being perpetrated on the American people. Yes, Super Bowl just passed, and I hope you guys enjoyed your festivities and your celebrations, but now it's time to get back to work. It's time to get on this ball, and it's time to fight like no other time in our life, because right now is all we get. We have to start forming unity. We have to form a civilian defense system that protects every region of the United States. We have to have a chain of communication so that if we see incoming threats, we can direct the information to one another in a quickly and efficient manner. We need to begin to seek out these would-be radical organizations and expose them. We need to stop the depravity that is thriving in this nation right now, and we can do that. Guess what? With 250 million Americans, you only get a percentage of them, and the man hours and the activity that they're capable of creating is unprecedented. 250 million Americans all focusing their energy on one effect. Now that is change, not the nonsense that people try to say is change, and they suck your money up for it, and then they run off to party in the desert, get high on drugs, and expand their minds so they can what? Criticize radical Islam, a system of living that only exists because people around the world in positions of military and political power have bombed the living God-blessed Jesus out of these cities until mass devastation has fabricated radical terrorism. People who are no longer willing to sit idly by while bombs from the sky fall upon their loved ones when they have no weapons to create an offense in the first place. There is a nation called Palestine, Syria, Yemen, Aleppo. All these places have been prohibited from having food and safe access to clean water for months. And guess what? We have a war zone right here in Flint Ridge, Michigan. It was 2014 when they lost access to their clean drinking water. But we spent $50 million on Lady Gaga's performance at the Super Bowl, but we can't provide our own citizens with fresh, adequate, healthy needs. What kind of society are we living in, ladies and gentlemen? In 1956, they create the Compulsory Fertilization Act, where the president and Congress was able to handpick 15 states where the IQ levels were so low that they just started at their own discretion adding chemicals to the water supply that made women incapable of supporting children in their womb. A lot of the times, they would get pregnant and then miscarry 3 or 4 months down the road. Trust me, my mother was one of those individuals. So for you to not know what is being done to our people, to our society, they knew damn good and well in the 1950s and 60s when they gave these diet pills and these certain appetite suppressant pills to our mothers that their children would come out missing limbs. All this has been well known. You know what's happening now? Children are being born with their stomachs on the outside of their body and their spines on the outside of their backs. And why? Because they are bombarding our environment with chemical toxins. They are not promoting free development of trade. They are shutting us down. They are closing us out, and they are making us so the only hope we have is depend upon the handouts that they are offering to us, and that's enough. 45 million out of 250 million Americans on food stamps, when they are raising the cost of watering your own garden to such $400 a month to pay for watering a community garden. Okay, but at the same time, a city council will promise that they have interest in building a homeless shelter when all they're doing is utilizing city funds to go on a paid vacation to go and see a community that has established a homeless shelter, go out to these fancy restaurants, rent vehicles, all on the city bill, and come back with absolutely zero desire to build a shelter or even continue the commentary. That I asked them, well, what was the point? And they said, well, we wanted to investigate rezoning. Ladies and gentlemen, at one time in this nation, we had adequate health care that provided the need of every homeless man, every homeless woman with the mental health services that they needed to be rehabilitated and put back into society. Now, they abused that opportunity too by inflicting such things as electroshock therapy, chemical lobotomies, and so on and so forth. But what about a healthy damn balance of these two, where we actually re-strengthen our economy by again providing the healthcare services that our people need? Oh, universal healthcare will put us into poverty. No, ladies and gentlemen, universal warfare has put us into perpetual poverty. What will take us out of perpetual poverty is clarity and discernment. So I thank you, each of you, for taking the time to listen to this, because at this point, here and now, what's happening is going to be so fast-paced on this fast track. I mean, why get upset about the North Dakota Access Pipeline when we have another 2,000 pipelines across the country? How about the fact that all this money that's being generated by these pipelines, extracting our natural resources and selling them off so that a few bloodlines, a few individual families can become quintrillionaires, okay? When we exist in such poverty in the United States that we can't even afford dental care, vision care. Come on, our veterans are paying for our glasses. My glasses were provided by a veteran organization, the Lion Club, and a high school, and optometrists who are willing to not take any pay so that people who care about what's going on in the world can see and read and then reshare that information to you, the people. Okay? Veterans should not have to be paying for a 33-year-old man's eyeglasses. Our nation can easily cover universal health care if we weren't busy wasting 26,000 bombs on countries that don't even have an ability to bomb back. I mean, I prefer boots on the ground because that demands accountability. But how about we put a camera on the chest of every single uniformed soldier in the United States personnel so that we know exactly what's going on at any time, and we can look up every single one of those soldiers and see what's going on. Like, we can follow them in real time. We can all become fans and supporters. And when one of those soldiers are killed in action, we can know what it's like to actually lose somebody in war. How about that? Hear ye, hear ye. We the people demand accountability. Change now. We are more than change. We are the future if we choose to claim it. But it's going to require the effort of everyone who has been here and everyone who hasn't been here collectively. You need to get this message out. You need to reshare this message. You need to re-express this message in your own words because it's desperate and the hour is close. We march at dawn, ladies and gentlemen. See the difference between a sober Liam? I got on earlier, pumped up, ready to go, and I decided I made the foolish decision of clouding my perception. But I'm done with that. Live by example. Take these statements to heart. It is our world that we have inherited, and what becomes of it depends upon you. You're responsible now. You're accountable. Don't tell me, oh, they're powerful. There's too many of them. Foolishness. 250,000 of us. We must meet in the street. How about every day? How about every day we come up with an agreeable hour to go out into the street and meet together with one another and say, this is our community. This community consists of we the people, not the officers who have the privilege of coming in here and policing us. not the SWAT teams that come in here with the intentions to kill, murder, and destroy us. Not a National Guard that has been established to defend our politicians from us, the civilians. Yeah, they've got a National Guard consisting of we the people, but it's to protect the politicians from us. No, no, no. Long enough these mismanagements have existed. I believe in this change, and I believe that we are making it happen now, today, and tomorrow, the next day, and every day that follows thereafter, until we can retire from this endeavor. Because one day this work can be completed. And yes, abuse and misuse may again ferment and fester up, but there will always be a young American ready to step up and demand it to be corrected. I know what you guys are capable of. I know what you possess. I possess very similar skills, characteristics, and traits. But if you don't put them to use, then what good are they? If you do not put them to use, then what good are they? What good are they doing you? What good is any of these words that I'm saying achieving? What has to be done is direct action. Tonight, I will be at the city council meeting at 7 p.m. I will be demanding action. I will be demanding that the owners of our businesses in our community begin to step up and make changes that show the world that we are a strong community. We are a community that is directing change, and that we are a model that any other community can follow in order to achieve a likewise important, successful change in their existences. I'm checking the chat section now, and I do feel as if perhaps we have done a good enough job to, for the most part, conclude this. I'm checking the chat section now. They do not just want war with Iran, they are planning war with Iran. War with Iran is coming. War with Iran is coming. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves now. This is truth. You see this? This is all you need to know about the future, right here. You want to know what's going to happen, you make sure you take the steps that are going to ensure your child's safety and continuity of life. Step up, Americans, step up. I don't care who thinks what about nothing anymore. Okay? I got this big old brain on Bill. You want to know how to protect yourselves and preserve your life? Begin to prepare for war. Mass casualty events. Get everything in order. Trust me, I've seen this since for so long, and it's scary because typically people should not be in the position to be able to perceive these type of things, but unfortunately my brain was developed and built just slightly different than the vast majority of the rest of the people who I have the privilege of interacting with. I'm telling you, I'm like a very, very highly sophisticated satellite receiver, and I pick up information that is months, if not years, in advance to when these things are actually to manifest. But I'm telling you now with absolute complete certainty that this future, things are manifesting, and we have to prepare. We have to prepare because we have to bring good teachers together. We have to bring good, strong leaders together. They're not making this war for the productivity, for the enhancement of life of all humans upon this earth. It is enough, and I've had enough. I will no longer sit idly by while people fabricate and script up events for young men and women to die in, when all of this is a fiat form of existence. Billions of dollars, trillions of dollars is nothing compared to that of the value of one life. Adolf Hitler was scripted and engineered to be the leader of the Nazi war machine, and he did so with ever an efficient manner. But guess what? What happens when one of us becomes the American dream of freedom and prosperity for all humans in all places? I'm almost tired of hearing this whole, if you bring world peace, then you're the Antichrist. Because, damn it, that's just another paradigm set up by these Ashkenazi Zionist warlords, these aliens, they who live while we die. That's all it is. It's a trap so that we can't even aspire to do great good on this planet anymore. Okay? It's all nonsense. Nonsense and nonsense. Come out of her, my brothers and my sisters. Come out of her now. Because your strength is marvelous. and your capabilities are unparalleled to any of these little babies, these little trauma babies who think that they truly know how to dictate your life for you. Step up and get ready because you are this future that needs to be made now. I don't care if there's 2 of you or 2,000 of you watching. You have to realize that those people who generate the most views are the people who are sucking up hardest on the tit of the Zionist war machine regime. That's all they are. That's all they are. They just seek to simply undermine that which is the power of we the people, the power of the Russian people, the power of the people of Mexico, and greater than all is the power of the native tribes of this land, who I truly, truly significantly hope that they rise up and become the wielders of destiny. Because that is, my brothers and sisters, exactly who they are. And if you're not willing to stand up and defend the defenseless, if you're not, I called the FBI last night, ladies and gentlemen, and filed a report against this disgusting video that is only there to make us Americans look bad. Enough is enough. You want a leader? You got one. You want 1,000 leaders? Become them. You don't need a leader if you are one. Lead by example. Raise that bar daily. That's what this is about. That's what this is really about, is becoming that change that so many promise but fail to deliver because they are more interested in their own personal fame and wealth and greed than they are about the future of the American people. If you leave this broadcast uninformed, then I haven't failed you anymore, because I'm making sure I'm taking those steps that I have to take in order to be the strongest leader I can be. Stronger than strong. Okay, I'm bigger than their fucking Zionist Jew record machine. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I will do my best to stop using profanity, but I am sick of them. I am sick of them, and I am sick of them thinking that this is their little Disneyland. My country, my home, my nation, my land that was destroyed and irreparably harmed isn't their plaything any longer. And you know that. And you're stronger than that. So go out there and be that strength now. When you see a group of kids, turn them on to my channel. If my channel is garbage, turn them on to Call for an Uprising's channel. If his channel is garbage, then you find out what you need to turn kids onto so they can know the truth, and you turn them onto it. If you're a young man or woman yourself, then you need to become the circle of influence in your friends, and you need to tell them what's coming. It's not about yelling loudly on a video game on a gaming channel. I can do that too. It's acting. It's canned laughter. It's canned excitement. It's fake. What's real is passion and the pursuit of ending that which is this destruction coming. That's passion. That's real life experience. That's the best video game you're ever going to play. It's called America. And we have to fight. And we don't respawn like the Avatar Zionist Jews do. They don't care about their bodies. They don't care about our bodies. Use them at their discretion, like playthings, like cattle, like livestock. But our lives are worth more than that to us. They're creating this media so we stop caring. They're creating this music so we stop caring. You gotta care, people. All the really cool kids, they care a lot. All the cool kids care. Right, Jack? That's why we gotta get CareCal up in an operation. That's why we have the March of Truth for our youth in operation. That's another YouTube channel. You have my YouTube channel, Liam XML. But there are Wes Truther. He has a powerful YouTube channel. You guys are not aware of what's coming, but they are. And so are a lot of their rich families that they've done exactly as they've been told, and they were privileged enough to get to become the powerful families that they become. Donald Trump isn't even from this plane of existence, people. Come on. The Simpsons, Matt Groening, not even from this plane of existence, people. They exist in an intelligence. They exist within an intelligence They exist within an intelligence that is highly isolated and parallel to our own. This pyramid culture that has existed with the desire to control us at any and all cost, even down to the idea that the signs and the symbols that exist are for the simple-minded. Okay? These pyramids are giant weights upon our backs and the backs of our earth that have dampen the ability for us to think freely and unhindered. Yes, they can be covered in the proper materials and turn into vessels of high frequency vibration and encourage all of us to ascend again. And then they wonder, well, how did man go from being so intelligent to devolving so quickly to writing the masterpieces of Mozart and Bach and so on to writing the crap that passes as music today from one direction, and Justin, I don't believe in your crapper anymore. What happened to us? We've been manipulated, ladies and gentlemen. That which is our mind. The first key they took was they started to teach us to write our thoughts down and our knowledge instead of passing it on generation to generation. Just the act of doing that created a much more active and enthralling life. The gift of storytelling was one that inspired and impassioned thousands of years of humanity to reach for the stars and become the greatness that we sought to become. But now they've limited us so that anything that's important can be written down and recalled at a later time, but isn't truly imprinted upon our mind, isn't known, but left to be recalled. We have to remember our strength, our ability, and where we are as human beings are capable of going. We have to remember that this planet here was meant to be as a tool to allow us to ascend, to raise up our abilities, to become star beings, beings capable of reaching out deep into the cosmos and healing the universes at large. We are the most loving. Our hearts are so capable of creating monumental love and impressions upon dark, damned entities. But do we know this anymore? Our teachers at our schools engineered to deceive our children into thinking that this reality is comprised of numbers, letters, and shapes. Alpha Beta Phonics, ladies and gentlemen, is a very powerful and ancient language created to stop you from even perceiving the power of our word and teach us to stop to talk in completely isolating, non-fluidic language terms. We aren't speaking beauty and manifestation in existence. We're talking backwards and we're undoing everything. We're removing love. We're closing off these channels with our words instead of like the other beautiful languages in the world manifesting beauty and possibility into reality. The Alpha Beta phonic language of the Phoenicians was designed to control the largest mass of people in the world ever because that's who speaks Imperial English is all of us. So those who speak this language don't even know the beauty. That's why they say there are words in Latin and Spanish and French that express such exquisite beauty that the American language can never understand or appreciate. And even these languages that are derivative of Latin fall under the same jurisdiction, but fortunately enough have not been exploited and perverted to the extent that the language that we constantly speak has been. So that's a heavy thought, but that does not even in any capacity share the idea of what they are really doing by limiting our interaction with the world, our interaction with nature, natural water, natural food. All the other highly exquisite nations of the world get to enjoy these beauties, these luxuries, but in America, they take our clean water that's hidden up in the Great Lakes and buy it for $200 for an unspecified amount. Nestle is doing this. And then they leave us the scraps, the poison, the toxins that remain. Yeah, Milo is a shill and a sellout, a liar. He raised $100,000 for college students and was promising to give $2,500 to each one of them, and has done none of that. Lou Kardowski can't even properly support the people who have helped his website and movement become the great and splendid thing it is. Joe Rogan is another Zionist sympathizer, just like his new buddy Alex Jones. All these people are Zionist sympathizers who are promoting the lies that have been presented by Adam Weishaupt. All of these lies, all of this deception is now being regurgitated and mass broadcasted. And now it's time to step away from these liars and deceivers who hope to capture that which is the American movement of freedom and return it to the hands of those who are really, truly willing to fight for that which is your daughter and your son's future, goddammit. They're going to fight for your son and your daughter's future, regardless of the cost, regardless of the lack in their own life, regardless of what it takes. It ain't about partying on Saturday night or Sunday night, damn it. It's about working 15 hours days for less than $1 a day. It's about fighting with your last breath, losing sleep, skipping meals, making an ass out of yourself and a fool of yourself, just so that you know that you've left a lasting impression and you've made the choice to have a meaningful existence in this plane. While this fight is still going on, that's what changes, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we stop them in their tracks. That's how we take from them their power, their strength, and their perceivable outcome. They're not lucky. They're not that lucky, ladies and gentlemen. Luck has nothing to do with it. What's going to make this determinable outcome is your choice right now. I don't need your money. I need your support. I need you to get this message out to the next person. I need you to realize that your daughter, your son, is very likely the next plaything of these new world elitists, these Kabbalists, who care not about nothing but preying upon the innocence and the life force of your beloved little daughter or son. That baby that sat there and nursed off your breast, that daughter of yours who cried that first time over her first heartbreak, they don't care about their existence or their experiences in this life. All they care about is preying upon them and utilizing them to raise themselves up higher. I have a friend who is a pastor of a church, and when he goes on his many trips around the world, he comes back, and every time he looks at the American people, he says, what do they do to these American people that make them all look so sick and so disenfranchised, like zombies, like shadows, like empty vessels? And I say it's what they feed us, brother. It's what they feed us. It's what they put in our air. It's what they put in our water. It's making us sick. It's them feeding us back our young. It's them making arsenic in all of our chicken. It's them making complete toxic sites of our cities, communities. You go to Commerce, California, and there's so much liver cancer and pancreatic cancer because of the people who grew up around the stockyards where the trains come in and drop off freight and pick up freight from the ports. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about how many first responders have died. They don't care about making sure that the cost of their medical bills have been covered. They don't care if you've dedicated your life to serving in the armed forces or serving in the civilian forces. They don't care. You're just a rotten tomato to them, and they don't care. They don't care. You're rotten broccoli. They don't care. They don't think you care. They don't think you're even willing to stand up and do a single thing about it. They think you're just going to sit idly back and watch the destruction of your entire family. And that's what's happened here in this world, in this country, generation after generation. It's becoming to the point where it's unmanageable. It's unimaginable. Brother, friend, taking no care for one another here. Women sleeping on the streets, being assaulted. If we were closer and our women were being raped like the women are being raped in Europe, will we do something about it? Because we can thank Barack Hussein Obama for dropping 26,000 bombs on these communities, these cities, and causing all these refugees to flee out of their once beautiful, pristine communities, towns, cities, and going to Europe and victimizing the beauty of the Europeans because of what American military forces have been employed to do. We don't have a choice in this, and we should. We should have a choice in this. And so, what happens next? What happens next? Right now, when let's see, Russia supports Iran, and China's building um, launch pads, runways on these artificial islands. Ladies and gentlemen, they're fabricating a full-blown war scenario. This is everything. Okay, a few months ago, when the first attacks happened over in Europe, and all these political leaders came together and did that famous photo opportunity that was almost a rehashing, a redux of a very famous photo opportunity just prior to the mass launching of World War II. Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? Are you not aware of this? You're just sitting back. What are you going to do tonight? What are you going to do tonight? Okay, we have to get ready to start taking to the streets to declare no war. I don't care what it takes. No war, because either no war or get out of here now. Get out of here now. The wise men and women of this world who have listened to wise men of previous generations, they're telling us men and women of knowledge to go away, go hide, let it go, stop the fight, and when the dust settles, having survived this terrible catastrophe of global warfare, you can return to the people with the knowledge that you have preserved, and you can help rebuild society. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real. I'm telling you, in a couple years, that will be what has had happened. So you have to decide whether or not that's the fate you want, or you're going to do something. You're going to do something to stop it in its course. We need to shut this country down right now. We need to stop. It doesn't matter how much money we make, it's fake. It doesn't matter how many people become famous in the next couple of days, it's fake. It doesn't matter nothing. We all have established communities. We all have established subscribers, followers, people who listen to us on Instagram. That's it. That's it. You guys go back to my YouTube channel and watch my videos upside down and backwards on my playlist, episode 1 through 9. That's all you need to do. This is happening. This is getting ready to happen right now. My grandfather, Chet Holyfield, a very, very prominent member of Congress, would be so very proud of me right now because he knows I'm not lying. I felt disappointed in myself and ashamed of myself earlier when I had clouded my ability to directly share with you these most important things. These most important things. And if you're here on this channel checking out my content from here on out, you'd be best betting yourself that this is the degree of truth that you're going to be receiving, because there's no more time to play. There's no more time to play. They got us chemically vaccinated to straight retardville. They wanted to put every man, woman, and child who was resistant to this global war phenomena in a FEMA camp back in 2015. Okay, they've straight had to fabricate disease and war and destruction through geological weapon systems in Haiti in order to bring in large numbers of refugees to put them inside of our FEMA camps just so they can flush the damn toilets, okay? And what's called, like, not forcing these facilities to go into a winterization period, because after a facility has gone into winterization for longer than 8 months, a construction company has to come in and check every single element of that facility and clear it that they're all functional. And if they find like one thing out of order, they have, a lot of the times it takes years to fix it. So just like at the maximum security prisons in California, they have 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds who have been convicted of violent crimes come in and take care of these maximum security centers that have not enough prisoners to go into them, and they get reductions on their sentences, and all they have to do is walk around the facility all day flushing toilets. Okay? They brought these refugees in to help keep these camps at the ready so that when this happens, they're ready. The enemy, as Ron Paul has told you, who is another actor who's been scripted in the New World Order combat, like the New World Order staged event theater, that is the destruction of the American nation. He even says, well, the NSA Act was created to spy on the American people, the enemy, then we're the enemy of the state, the deep state. Okay? The government, the CIA, all that barely exists anymore. The FBI barely exists anymore. They know how much they've been cut back by the NSA and the DHS. They know exactly what is happening. So many of their employees are quitting because they know what's getting ready to be done. Okay? Now, if Donald Trump is really going to help us, then great. Great. I know that there's millions of people on the street protesting the presidency of Donald Trump Hillary would nuke Iran already, and it'd be done, ladies and gentlemen. Done. Donald Trump doesn't want it to go that way. I don't know why. He's a Zionist supporter too, but maybe he's smart enough, just smart enough, to play the game both ways. I don't know. If he is, that's balls, man. That's balls of plutonium, uranium, nuclear balls right there, because damn, that's brave. But if he's just feeding the script, doing as he's been told, then we're in hell. We're in for hell. And we need to passport up, and we need to get ready to go and hide in the remote parts of the jungles of the Amazons and the mountains of Ecuador, Argentina, Chile, Puerto Rico, anywhere. Get out of America, get out of here, and go now. I'm not playing with you. I wish I was playing with you, but I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to go back and forth. No, seriously. Watch my videos from the last year and a half, 2 years. I told you what was happening. I told you what was happening, how it would play out, and the fact that Kissinger and Soros, they've already put all these things into play. If anything, Donald Trump is trying to stop it. He's trying to get into as many positions as possible to stop these snowball events from playing out in a manner that's going to create what's going to happen. Okay, there's somebody who got on YouTube in like 2014 and said he was from 2130. He was a member of the Montauk experiment, my grandfather's work with the United States Congress and government, and DARPA, the defense programs, the weapons programs. And he said that he's from the future, that he made YouTube videos to tell us that in the fall of 2016 that we get into a nuclear event with Russia and Iran, and that mass casualties are reported, and that they are monitoring this information from the future. And if you comment on this YouTube channel, just like they were talking about in the show 12 Monkeys, which I have the theater poster for, you should be able to see it. Right there is 12 Monkeys poster. Okay? Thank you for appreciating the movement of the camera for a moment. But in that show, they set up a phone number that Bruce Willis could call and leave messages for the future. But in the movie, they sent him the wrong date, so the phone number hadn't been set up yet, okay? But this YouTube channel that came out, like, probably, and I could be wrong, and before the movie 12 Monkeys, had the exact same line, that they were monitoring these comments from the future, and they were trying to see if we could figure out how to avert a nuclear event with Russia. Okay, this is happening. This is really, really happening. There's a movie called Summer of the Massacre. There's a movie called Southland Tales, okay? It depicts a nuclear event in Texas. All this is happening. This is really real, ladies and gentlemen, because they are fabricating this theater. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. I'm trying to inform you. I'm trying to tell you that my great-grandfather, who was like non-terrestrial as can be, came into Congress and helped open their minds to the potentials of what we have to do as a species on this planet to survive. He came up with 1,100 peaceful uses of the atom. He did his best to form civilian defense. He helped legislate underground bunkers for the survival of Americans during a nuclear event, but the Rockefeller family confiscated all these U.S. government federal assets and deemed them private property, because there's no reason, there's no money in the surviving of 200 million Americans. If you change things, you can make it so that you can start the whole process over again of raising up humanity, and then humanity has to pay for all the cost of everything that goes into making society. And it's like it's like SimCity 2000 all over again. They can create civilization, society in the exact perfect utopian vision that they've always planned for it. And so you guys have to truly hear me when I say that there is nuclear weapons, there has been nuclear events, the nukes aren't fake, there are not some NASA hoax, okay? The Jews invented nukes. They invented them so that they could bring them to Earth and then get the nations of Earth to bully themselves into a checkmate where nobody can move without fear of geothermonuclear warfare, and it creates a fabricated state of control, and then everybody at the same time is putting hundreds of billions of dollars into a fiat arms race, leaving the entire population of humanity impoverished, when those trillions and billions of dollars should have gone to the well-being and the development of intelligence and prosperity and peace and and the curing of all diseases and illnesses and mental health issues and drug abusing. Chemical use should be like the whole experience that humans have on this planet is completely ass backwards from the reality what we're supposed to be experiencing here. I mean, everything is based around the perception of consumption, consumerism, and destruction. There is no education of giving back. They could so easily re-gear everything on this planet so that every single person born into this world is brought here with the knowledge that they can give more back to it than what they consumed while here. But they don't teach us that. That is not what is taught on Earth. So they teach us death, which is part of the word Earth. Okay, EARTH, DEARTH, DEATH. Okay, they can, instead of burying us in the ground and killing that space, they should turn us into a tree and plant us in a forest, and the world would not be having a shortage of trees, as that meme said, and to everything else. We are here now in this time. Whatever our particular profession of life is, we are here in this time to be the stewards, the shepherds, the bearers of the prosperity, the renewing of life, the reinvigoration of life. This is 2017, supposedly. We've got this. We are everything that this world needs in order to turn itself around and create a world of beauty and simplicity and calm. Good God, we need about 20 years of calm on this planet. I'm sick and tired of seeing these beautiful human beings all over the world blown to shit, mutilated, like acid pouring, like pouring acid on a damn infant ward in a hospital. Okay, what is wrong with this humanity, with this world? Every man who is destroyed by war was once a child who grew up and is the love of a woman. Women don't create this war. Women don't come up with engineers to build new and more devastating forms of weaponry. What the hell is wrong? Women, reclaim your position of power and authority in this world. Please, please, I implore you, I plead with you to do this. If I mean, what do you have to do? Tell the men you're not going to make women, not make humans anymore? Women aren't going to make any more, we ain't going to make no more humans because you just destroy them in war for no reason. Oh, but that's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to make children so they can destroy them in war. So they can take the hurt, the pain, the horrible experiences that people are having in this world, and then when you become a phantom, they can suck it up with the giant soul-roving Pac-Man moon system, and they can feed off of our loosh. They sit there and they engineer harm and disorder on this planet so they can feed off of us and prey off of us. But damn it, we are much better than that. We are much better than that. This is our planet. Seriously. Let's produce some stockades again. We can lock these Zionists up in the center of our towns. I mean, they're the ones driving the nicest car, eating at the most expensive restaurants. They're the ones who are telling Obama to spend $7 million on vacations, while the rest of the nation's young men and women are putting their life on the line out there in the Middle East and watching their president, who fails to remember to even salute them when boarding Air Force One or one of his other numerous vessels. This has been far enough, long enough. I don't even doubt. We have people taking the genes of Obama and mixing them into the leaders of other nations because Obama has that +10 score of human charismatic animal magnetism. So when he talks, you guys are like, "Oh my Obama!" Good God, ladies and gentlemen, he was given the Nobel Peace Prize, and he dropped 26,000 bombs on children who don't even have a means to protect themselves from a bomb dropping on them. I don't want to repeat myself here. We need to get away from all of the systems that are set up to disassociate ourselves from community, from the unity, from knowing that when a child is destroyed in a far region of the world, that child very well should have been our own. And they are our own children. They just weren't born into our family. So that is a decision. That is a determination that I demand that you, the people, begin to make right now, here at this time. We have a fight called the March of Truth. We have a YouTube channel called Liam Xmail. But you have to decide that you've seen enough. You realize that it's not going to get better until you stand up and demand that it is made better. That's what we need right now. That's what we have to do right now. You want to see a better world? Make it, but make it now. They're not going to make it for you. They're not going to create an opportunity for you to just participate and the world gets better. No. You are the only reason anything at all is going to change. And I believe that each of you possess the necessary skills to do this. If anybody needs reminded of how they can help, please ask. Do not contribute to them. Start boycotting Israeli products. Start boycotting their films and their propaganda. Start utilizing your money to pay for American products, American entertainment. Just stop contributing. There's 3 of you here. Go further than that. Become that crazy person telling the people around you what's going on. When you see a group of kids together, again, as I said earlier, go up to them and turn them on to information that they need to know. Okay? It's sad. I'm too perceptive for this. They're not going to allow me to do this forever in this capacity. You guys, I'm going to need your support off these sites. I'm establishing my own website. I'm going to need your help there. I'm going to need you guys to continue to hear out what I have to say. We are at the end of this broadcast for now. We are at the end of this broadcast for now. But this is that time. Venezuela and in the mass poverty economic crisis they're in right now is simply a test run to see how the American people respond to it when it happens here. It doesn't have to happen here. It doesn't have to happen. I think the greatest thing stated in this broadcast today was that we, every day, need to go out and meet in the streets again. Every day. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. But if I see you standing by and accepting this, I'm not going to participate and associate with these people any longer. Because there's a fight on our hands. And the cost is our freedom and survival. You don't see it now because you've lived in a system, a society where we've been privileged and safeguarded away from this type of hell. But it's not going to be that way for much longer. And if we start to meet in the street every day at a set hour, and it's going to be a set hour, whereas if you're on the Eastern Standard Time, we're outside at the same time, but it's Pacific Standard Time. We're out there at the same hour. Everybody in the whole damn world. So we have to decide what hour it is, what's the most convenient hour. People got to walk out to school every day. People have to walk out of their work every day. Employers have to realize why we're doing this. It doesn't have to be for long. It's not a break. It's a meeting of the minds that are going to legitimate and actualize this change that is the preservation of we the people. We are the people are not going to fall down now. Remember, we said that united we stand, divided we fall, and we won't forget. This is what we were supposed to remember. Now it's time to remember. It is time to remember now. Okay? It is this time that we must remember that if they pull this over our heads one more time, this is it. This is it. Don't let it happen. Even when they commit this act of treason on our soil, we just have to remember that it was a false flag attack. It was done so that they could perpetuate a mass military action like they did after the September 11th attacks in 2001, and later recanted on the statement that they said that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and potentially stood as a threat to that which is the American idea of existence. And all of that was proven to be complete falsehood. And again, all the terrorism that exists in the world has all been engineered and fabricated on the behalf of the United Nations, the Allied forces of George Bush's presidency, American policies, and foreign Israeli policies, and the implementation of them. It's time to stop, to withdraw from their programs. I mean this. We have to meet daily in the streets. We have to meet every day in these streets and tell the people, tell the government that we are united. We aren't going for their shit no more. We don't buy shit. No matter how pretty they polish it up or how hard they desperately try to convince us that shit is gold. We're not buying shit no more, people. We're not doing that. Enough is enough. Please follow me on my YouTube channel, where I'm going to take my best effort to bring you content of this quality every time. Yes, I might be breaking the story, but I will do my best to make sure that you were informed. And that opportunity that we had when we came together and we met for this exchange of information, I'm going to make sure that your time was greatly cherished, valued, and appreciated and not wasted. I'm going to make sure that your contributions and donations, and your comments, your advice is held to the highest level of appreciation that I can muster as an individual. Remember who we are and what we come from and what we're capable of. I know this is better. There is better for us than what they've been willing to offer us thus far. And I know you guys have this in you. I know that. When shall we meet? When shall we make this hour that we meet in the streets? There's only going to be a few of us at first. And at this, every day when we do this, I think we need to be live. We need to be live. And no, we can't watch each other's live broadcast when we do this, but we will see each other's notifications that we are out on the streets and we are live. And this revolution is being televised. Do you understand me? Do you feel me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You absorbing what I'm squeezing out? Because I know we got this, people. When do we meet? When is our first meeting time? Because I'm telling you, we are the truth. We are a greater change than will ever be seen, has ever been seen, and will ever be seen. That's why we were brought here for this time in this period of life. That's why we exist in this moment. Each of you are badass motherfucking servants of God. And I'm not even going to play around when I say that. You start serving the Most High, and He will serve you with opportunity after opportunity to relieve and free people from the system of binds, this rule of insanity, this beast system that preys upon our life, our wealth, and our well-being. I love you guys. I love you guys because I know that I'm only here because you guys, all of you, are all one body, yearning for peace and change, yearning for a better world. And I see it all. I see it written on each of your hearts. When you see the disgusting things that are put out in our world to harm and mislead our children, I know it hurts you like it hurts me. I know you guys want to see this stop. We all believe in freedom. People should be free to express themselves any way they see fit, but in the privacy and security of their own well-being and space. Not that people don't have the right to express themselves freely, but when your desire to express yourself impeaches upon my desire to keep a pure and clean heart, to keep my blood purified as it was when I was created and brought here, so that the dirtiness of my experience can be released in the simplicity of my tears, I rebuke you in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. I cast you out as the demon, foul beast, and unclean things you are. And I remind each of you that as a force, the needs and the worries do nothing but distract us. Our needs will be met. Our worries will be quenched. We can't change anything by worrying. But by taking action and by being united, none of these fakers, these shillers, these sellers of lies, dressed as truth, they can't overcome what we have. My brothers and my sisters, children of this beautiful green creation, no, I tell you the truth when I say that we march at dawn.